morning because I know that when I think about traveling, when I talk about traveling, I want to talk about how it changed my view of the world and how I see the world now, put it that way. So, like I said, definitely welcome to the video. If you have not been to one of my videos before, of course, if you haven't been to this channel or never seen the video, make sure that you, of course, subscribe. And, of course, if you've been here before, welcome back, family. So, like I said, how travel changed the way I view the world. Ever since, like, I think I may have said this in other daily vlogs and podcasts that I've done on here, but since I was a kid, I've always wanted to travel. That love of travel came from me seeing different places. Back when I was young, we had encyclopedias, books that had all the information like Google, and I put it that way. But we had encyclopedias, our dictionaries. We had like National Geographic shows. It wasn't like all the travel channels and stuff that you see now, but it was like National Geographic, and I think Channel 9. In St. Louis, it was Channel 9. But like I said, they used to talk about not every day, not all the time, but sometimes they talked about, of course, different foods from this place or that place, or how it was made, or somebody's cooking the food and talking about where it may have come from, like different countries, places, the people that it may have came from. And then, of course, there were some traveling shows, more of just like the education about the places. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like the travel shows we have now. At least for me growing up, it wasn't. It was more about just like education, the research that someone has done, who the people are, what the landscape looks like all those types of things. It wasn't more of we taking our phones. We didn't even have phones back then when I grew up. So we didn't have cell phones at all. So, like I said, we just had, of course, the news, the whoever was filming, like I said, National Geographic folks filming and just showing us places and talking about them. More just about, like I said, just educating us on those places. And like I said, I never forgot about those places. I never forgot about the places I heard about, the food I heard about, but some of the names I don't know right now. But like I said, I never forgot about the places. And like I said, one of the things that has always, always, always stuck with me is that I want to travel because of those things, because of all the stuff that I saw on TV, because of all the stuff that I read in the books back then. I want to travel and see the world. And like I said, what traveling has shown me about the world is that there are many different kinds of people out here, not just me. And not just the family I grew up in, not just the neighborhood that I know. There's all types of neighborhoods that may actually look similar, because I've seen some similar type of neighborhoods in other states and places and countries and stuff like that. And it just mind boggles me how we think we're so different here in the United States, or I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, or I'm in Arizona, or that kind of thing. How we think it's so different, but when we actually travel to these other countries and places, they're almost the same as us. They may talk a different language, or have different types of, like, the way that they dress, or the landscape may look a little bit different. It may not be desert, it may be more trees or oceans, but every almost everything, still the neighborhoods still feel like neighborhoods, still feel like back home neighborhoods. I put it that way. We are more alike than we are different. I found that out by traveling, y'all. And like I said, I want to share that with y'all, because I know some of y'all probably are still, of course, haven't traveled yet, haven't taken your first cruise, haven't taken your first land trip, maybe haven't even traveled outside your neighborhood or your city yet to even see what's out there around you, surrounding you. I just know that when I started traveling, even it was growing up, it wasn't even that far. But just I like in the county areas or the rural areas of Missouri and that kind of thing. Just seeing how people lived out there, seeing that they actually had animals, they actually had farms, they actually had food that they were growing, all those types of things. Like I said, that intrigues me. I'm a curious person. I like to adventure. I want to know stuff. I want to see stuff, and I want to see how stuff works if I can help it. I put it that way. So, like I said, that's just the kind of person I am. I'm very, very curious. If y'all haven't figured that out by now, with all kind of things. And like I said, definitely very, very adventurous. And like I said, just traveling outside of like I said, where I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, just an hour, 2 hours, I see that kind of stuff. And like I said, that was always awesome for me, and just let me know how other folks live and what other folks did every day. Because like I said, a lot of them, of course, the farmers, that was their job, that was their business. It wasn't that they were going to an office like I am now and that kind of thing, and they were actually working on their land. I put it that way. And like I said, when I started traveling, even though I haven't been to all the places in the world or that kind of thing at all yet, I put it that way. And thank you, Connor, for tuning in. And is it Vicky Whitehead? Thank you for tuning in as well. And Connor, I'm doing fine and happy. If you all celebrate Christmas or Merry Christmas, well, it's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve to you all. I guess I put it that way. If you celebrate the holiday season, or if not Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate, or if it's nothing, still happy holidays, or just hello and good morning. I put it that way. But like I said, definitely just knowing that when I go someplace, even here in Arizona, even if I travel 30 minutes, I can see something different. I had no idea, y'all. We drove down to Casa Grande, Arizona, which is probably like an hour, 45 minutes or an hour from Tucson. We drove down there last year to go see the ruins. I can't think of the name of the ruins right now, but they're like some like the native ruins. They were in this area, the people who built them, that kind of thing, learned about them and all that kind of stuff. And I had no idea. We were driving. Oh, what was it? Is it called Elgin? I think it's called Elgin, the town that we drove through. I had no idea, y'all. I'm sitting up here looking like, is this cotton fields? I had no idea, y'all. Arizona is the second largest manufacturer and grower of cotton in the U.S. I had no idea. And they had all these fields full of cotton. Of course, you saw different like other crops growing and that kind of thing as well. And in my mind, I'm like, this is a desert. Can't nothing like that grow here. But they actually have dirt there. I put it that way. They actually have dirt that they can plant into the ground. Where I'm at, we don't have that. I put it that way. We have more sand, it's more rocky, it's more desert, cactus, and that kind of thing. But they had dirt that you can grow in. And like I said, I had no idea that Arizona even had those kind of terrains. I didn't know because, like I said, I've only been here like what 3.5 years now. So, like I said, just traveling 30 minutes. Like I said, I learned that about Arizona. I learned that about the people that, of course, used to live there and that kind of thing too. And like I said, when you start traveling, just being curious and just figuring out what's around you, even in, like I said, even in your own state, just drive 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, and you will see something different, y'all. Like I said, that's what traveling, like I said, it definitely opened my eyes to everybody. Of course, yes, while we may be different, the way we look, or colors, or clothes that we wear, and the language that we speak, our hair and that kind of thing, but we have a lot of similarities. We're a lot more of the same than we are different, y'all. I can tell you that. Like I said, I've been to, like I said, the islands. That's the only places I've really been to is the islands and like Jamaica, the Bahamas, all those types of things, just to learn about like I said, what's there and that kind of thing. Meeting some of the people, saying hi, what's going on, that kind of thing, and just being curious. Like I said, they have neighborhoods that look just like St. Louis, where I'm from. They have neighborhoods that look like Tucson, Arizona, too. Like I said, they have the similar kind of foods. I had no idea that a lot of these islands make the same kind of food the Mexicans in Arizona make, and the Native Americans. The fry breads, the tacos, the burritos. I'm like, okay, everybody else make these too. I had no idea they even made plantains all across. Seems like every place I've been to made. I love plantains. Make plantains or fix plantains as part of their meal. Here they do too. Like I said, I had no idea until I started getting out. Like I said, yeah, we're more the same than we are different, y'all. And like I said, it's just, like I said, I just want to share that with y'all this morning because, like I said, I know there are some people out there who haven't actually traveled or been anywhere outside their neighborhood or their own streets. I know people who ain't even been outside their own neighborhood or their street, y'all. Believe it or not. I have family that haven't either. And that is crazy, but like I said, that's people. Some folks haven't. And I'm hoping that this video, of course, inspires you to start, like I said, being curious about where you stay at. And of course, getting to traveling and that kind of thing, even if it's just a cruise that you go on, or just in Missouri, we had St. Louis, Lake of the Ozarks, is like 2.5 hours away. I went down there a few times to see what it looks like, and to stay at a hotel. It wasn't that far. It was just a quick drive. You can do that in your town too, y'all. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we don't realize, or I didn't realize, that when I started traveling different places, I'm like, okay, it's the same kind of stuff that we have back at home. Really, I didn't know. I know that now. I know that may sound ignorant to some of you all, because you all may be more well-traveled or army bred or that kind of thing and travels the world. I haven't. I guess I put it that way. I'm trying to do so, yes, but like I said, I'm still learning. And of course, I love learning. I think I may have said that several times in this video, but I love learning. I love learning about different people, different places, what it looks like there, what the food tastes like, how the people are, how the traditions are. I love learning those things. And yes, plantains are good. I love plantains. And that's C. Nell, thank you for tuning in. And is it Juan? Jose, thank you for tuning in as well. And A Girl 1 TV or T1V, I think. Thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. And it says Aminata, I think is your name. So thank you. So like I said, definitely, y'all, I just want to share this video with y'all today. And I'm just hoping that I inspire some people to, of course, get out there and see what's out there in your town, in your city, in your country. Leave your country and go figure out some other stuff too. Like I said, there's all kind of things that I figured out when I started traveling, y'all, that I, of course, love. I put it that way. That's why I love to travel. I can't travel all the time. I'm a social worker. We don't make that much money, but I can travel as much as I can. I put it that way. So like I said, y'all, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. And for those who, of course, watch the replay, definitely, like I said, let me know in the comments what places are you going to try to go to next. Even if it's in your city, town, state, out the country, wherever it's at, let me know where you want to go next. Definitely let me know in the comments. But like I said, y'all, take care. Have a great one. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in today. Peace out, y'all. I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace out.